The last time the Bucks had their backs against the wall like this was entering their championship season. Remember all those rumors entering 2021 about Giannis's future in Milwaukee? People thought it was basically a done deal he'd be going to Miami, but the team made a bet trading for Jrue Holiday in November 2020 following a gentleman sweep in the bubble to the Heat, and the rest is history. It led to Giannis signing a contract extension a month later, which resulted in a banner that very next season. Fast forward present day, and there's been a lot of chatter about Giannis' future yet again, which a lot of it is just simple bullshit, to be honest with you. Like, oh, he's gonna go to the Warriors and play with Steph. It's like, stop with the same recycled rumor every offseason. That's not gonna happen. What is reality, though, is the Bucks championship window is closing, and I don't like to use that word, it's a bit harsh, but it is nearing the end. Outside of Gary Trent Jr., all the Bucks starters will be over 30 by the 2025 playoffs. Giannis will be 30, Chris Middleton will be 33, Dame 34, and Brook Lopez 37. Arguably the more important components of that, although it's probably just along the same lines. The injury concerns. I mean, aside from the fact that last year probably would have resulted in a disappointing exit, even if healthy with the way things were going, Giannis missing multiple games in his second straight postseason, and a 34-year-old Dame who had missed over half his games the previous 2 seasons in Portland, missing 53% of them to be exact, also getting hurt in the playoffs, isn't a great sign. Then to add to this, there's Chris Middleton's health woes. He didn't get hurt this past postseason and actually was really good for them and played his best basketball since his offseason wrist surgery in 2022. But that's the problem right there. Ever since he got hurt in the 2022 playoffs for Chicago in the first round, he simply has not been the same. This was a guy in 2021 during their title run who averaged 25 points a game, proved he could be that sidekick for Giannis. But just look at his numbers the past 2 seasons, 15 points a game on 47% from the field and 36% from deep. Now, he was much more efficient this past season, and again, the playoffs were encouraging where he put up 25 points a game on over 58% true shooting versus the Pacers with the absence of their star duo. But we got a report from The Athletic a few days ago with some more injury news regarding Chris that he'll be, quote, limited in training camp after undergoing an ankle surgery this summer. So not exactly encouraging for someone who's only played 88 of 164 games the past 2 regular seasons. Another thing that caught headlines was something that Giannis said at Media Day, where he admitted that him and Dame didn't get the chance to work out together this summer, despite saying in his end of season press conference in May that that would be a goal of his for this summer.
Staying on the Dame portion, did you get a chance to meet up with Dame at all during the offseason?
No.
You were busy, obviously.
No, I didn't. I had the Olympics. I was in Greece. Then I got married, so I didn't have the chance. And I was hurt for I think a month afterwards. So I never had the chance to meet up.
Now, me personally, I feel like this is one of those headlines that only gets blown out of proportion because of the lack of success they had last year. For example, the Joker and Jamal Murray probably don't work out in the summers together. I mean, Jokic is in Serbia, and they seem just fine. Now, what about the positives? I feel like I laid out a bunch of pessimism, but what can the Bucks do to win their second title in 5 years? Well, let's just look at the positives from last year. People forget, but the Bucks starting 5 last year was actually really good, and that's not an opinion, it's a statistic. Out of all lineups in the NBA last season with at least 500 possessions played together, which isn't actually that much, it just filters out those lineups who may have some ridiculous plus 44 net rating that have only played garbage time minutes together. Milwaukee's starting 5 of Dame, Chris Middleton, Giannis, Brook Lopez, and Malik Beasley outscored their opponents by 15.5 points per 100 possessions. So despite contrary belief, when they were healthy, Giannis, Dame, and Chris Middleton were a great trio and were an historic offense. And Chris is confident that they can build on this, saying, quote, at Media Day, last year we were trying to play catch up as much as we could, and then also we were learning on the fly. During games, we were trying to learn each other out. This summer, we were able to talk, now have this training camp. I feel like we're in a smooth transition into the season. Dame also shared similar confidence entering this 2025 season, saying that they're going to get the real version of him this year.
I mean, I'm not coming into the season like, oh, I expect this or expect that. I do know that, my teammates and my coaches, they're going to get the real version of me.
Remember last year, there was a lot of noise around how happy Dame was in Milwaukee? I mean, heck, he even admitted himself in an interview with Sports Illustrated that he was lonely back in February, saying, quote, it's definitely lonely because I'm such a family guy. My life is my family. After games, I would come out and my whole family would be back there. My kids come out of the playroom, my mom, my brother, my cousins live there. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's fine because I'm grown, but it's definitely lonely. And Dame got traded, I think, literally a day before training camp last year, literally a day, and got his whole world turned upside down after months of thinking he was going to Miami. So I think now with him being more acclimated in Milwaukee year 2, things should be a lot better. Anyways, regardless of how you think this team will perform, this is a now or never type year for Milwaukee. The Sixers got better, the Knicks got better, Boston is Boston, the Pacers are riding high off an ECF trip, you got Orlando, Cleveland, and Miami. But I'm definitely excited to see a motivated Bucks squad attempt to shock the NBA world.